Hi and welcome back to my channel. This is my final video on clay and ceramics. In the last few videos, you discovered and learned about my process of two specific types of clay, oil-based clay and air-dry clay. In this last video, I'll be comparing both types as well as giving you my opinions and tips. First, I'll do an analysis on both types of clay I use. The factors I'll judge are the price and workability. Oil clay. First, the price. The price for the oil clay was really decent actually. It was around $25 and worked really well. The clay was really easy to work with. It had a smooth surface and consistency which made it easy to manipulate and move. It also didn't stick to anything and it held its shape well. On the other hand, kneading the clay was the most difficult part. Cons. When you first open the packet of clay, you have to knead it in order to make it workable. It took me around 15 to 20 minutes to fully knead all of this clay. Despite this, I still think the clay was really good and I really enjoyed working with it. It showed no signs of drying, which let me take my time on the sculpture and leave it out without worry. This also makes it reusable, which helps beginners, like me, get as much practice as possible. I really recommend this clay for people who want to learn to sculpt and wish to practice without being wasteful. Air dry clay. The price for the air dry clay, at least the brand I got, was really cheap. The Crayola clay was only $10. Right out of the packaging, it was really soft and easy to shape without having to knead it. However, I do think the clay was somewhat difficult to work with. Cons. A big problem I had was with the clay cracking while I was molding it. Another big issue was the mess it made, as you needed to use liquid to smoothen the clay out. There are other types of air dry clay such as DAS and FEMA that are better for fine details. I recommend using Crayola for projects that don't require much detail. Some examples include jewelry holders, rings, and small charms or figurines. If you don't want much of a mess and just want to sculpt for fun, I don't recommend using this type of clay. Comparison. Oil-based clay, unlike air-dry clay, does not harden even when exposed to air for long periods. The biggest difference between them is that one is made of oil while the other is composed of water. This is what makes air-dry clay settle when exposed. Similarly, both of these clays cannot be fired, which is why they don't compare to polymer. So which one is better? In my opinion, I personally enjoyed using the oil clay more than I did with the air-dry clay. I think one of the main reasons for this is due to the fact that the air-dry clay was messier and dried quickly. Because I was doing a comparison, both the sculptures I made were relatively similar. I feel that if I had gotten a better brand of air dry clay and made something easier, I probably would have enjoyed using it more. Tips to get started. To get started, get a thin piece of parchment paper. This will help avoid any messes on the table and ensure a clean working space. If you're just starting out, you don't need to buy any expensive or fancy tools. You can use pretty much anything to help you manipulate and bend the clay. For instance, if you need to score your clay, use a toothpick or a fork. Now take out your clay and knead it until it softens. For oil clay, this process will take longer than air-dry clay. You can use water to help smoothen out the clay, however this may be unnecessary for the oil-based clay as it is already soft. Tips. It's easier to start with basic shapes before beginning your actual project. This helps you learn specific techniques for the brand of clay you decide to use. And that's the end of the video. I really enjoyed discovering and learning about clay and ceramics, and I hope you enjoyed listening about my new passion as well. Thank you.